Your body becomes supple as a newborn child. This is a free translation. If you go back to the more literal translation, he's actually saying, can you concentrate your chi, or your vital energy, until your body becomes supple as a little child's? This is really his teaching body awareness. Can you go within, take attention into the body, and to feel that you're alive inside? Can you feel the aliveness in your hands? Can you feel the aliveness in your feet? Can you feel the aliveness that pervades the entire body, takes you out of your mind? Even as you sit here, can you feel that? There's a very ancient Taoist practice, thousands of years old, almost as old as the Tao Te Ching, which tells you you should breathe with your heels up, from your heels upward. It says, can you breathe from your heels upward? Of course you can't, because you can't suck in air with your feet. But it's just, what it's saying is, it is directing attention to your feet, and you imagine that you're breathing from down there. You're breathing through your heels. What that does is you suddenly become aware. It starts from the bottom of the entire energy field. As I'm breathing in, just simply imagine, are you breathing in from your feet? Energy starts to move in from down there. Imagine that you're actually breathing in from your feet, and then the energy of the breath flows into the body. A very ancient practice. That particular one I only discovered 2 days ago, that somebody, thousands of years ago, they recommended that already. And I said, oh, that's the inner body. That's what I was talking about, that I always talk about. Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? That is perhaps a somewhat obscure, although there's light in it, but to the mind it's a little obscure. What do you mean, cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? The light is the light of consciousness. Cleansing your inner vision is to still the mind until you become aware of awareness, until you become aware that you are conscious. And then that remains always there. This entire little chapter is really how to be in the world, but at the same time connected with the source. At this moment, it might be easier if you forget. Don't think of yourself as somebody having a past. Don't think of yourself as somebody having a future. What's left of you right now without that? Consciousness, just a presence. Not an opinion or memory. That's the light of consciousness, and that's the Tao, really. You cannot grasp it. You cannot make it an object of knowledge and say, oh, there it is, there's the light of I can see the light of consciousness. No, you are the light of consciousness through which everything is seen. You can't see it, you can't grasp it. It underlies everything. It's so there, it's who you are. It's your presence. When I say your presence, is not quite right, because it's not yours, it's you. There's oneness. If I say your presence, then there's you and presence. But language works in that way. It creates duality. And that's what the Tao Te Ching is about, is realizing that that's an illusion. Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? This is imposing your will. In another translation, it's always helpful to look at different translations. It says, can you be without cleverness in this world? I talk about cleverness in one of the books, that the ego is clever because it tries to work out some advantage for myself or for us. It has its little schemes. It tries to use people. That's cleverness. Politicians are clever, most of them. Very few are intelligent. PhD doesn't mean you're intelligent. Well, whether they have PhDs or not, it has nothing to do with that. Intelligence is to see the larger whole of all, and then not just act to enhance one little fragment and then be in opposition to the rest of the world of life. But see the totality. Can you be without cleverness? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? That's a very fundamental teaching of the Tao, is not to interfere in the way things are moving. And even if, so you don't, there's no violence whatsoever. And that's of course beautifully practiced in all martial arts. In martial arts, the opposing energy that is coming towards you is not resisted. This is deeply influenced by the Tao Te Ching. Non-resistance, going with the movement of life. The Western approach is somebody comes towards you and you hit back. It comes towards you and you go, "Whoa." And the Eastern is, the force is coming towards you and you go with it. And then suddenly your opponent falls. The very energy of that attack movement is used to defeat the opponent. You have not opposed it, you go with it. There's almost, we can say, no violence in it, and yet extremely powerful. And that can be applied in many things. It can be applied in daily life, in not getting involved in useless discussions, not identifying with mental positions of rightness. I'm right and you are wrong. And then you start, this energy is totally takes you out of yourself. Not engaging in useless discussions, being able to listen in a state of openness to another, not identifying with your opinions and then opposing somebody else's opinion. Can you step back? Before that, can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? Now, I looked at another translation that's a little closer to the original, which says, instead of by letting events take your course, it says, by becoming the female. Can you deal with the most vital matters by becoming the female? The female principle, female is often used as synonymous with the Tao. So one could almost say that the feminine principle, with the principle of allowing, which is like this, whereas the male principle is this. If you want to see it and express, this is the male goes like that, the female goes like that. And according to this teaching, the female is, one could almost say, expresses the Tao more clearly than the male. It's somewhat easier to express the Tao through the female form than the male form. And if you're male, then you have to discover the female in yourself to be one with the Tao. Also, you have to discover that. The allowing, for example, when I say, allow this moment to be as it is, that's a female. You're not fighting what is. You're allowing what is. There's an embracing. You see it when sometimes with Kuan Yin statues, the holding hands like that, or Virgin Mary statues, which are all expressions of the female, all embracing, all embracing. Can you be the female in any situation? And that, so in a discussion, can you be, now some women would say, oh, I don't like this idea, I want to be powerful. They don't realize that the power of the female is enormous. The power of allowing is far greater than the power of interfering. Can you be the female? Let's see what else we have.